Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Show with me, your host, Simon Conboy. Carrying on and finishing up the draft preview series today, this episode will be focusing on the Kansas City Chiefs. So for those of you who haven't seen one of these before, what I'll be doing is going through my first round mock pick for the team, giving my major team needs heading into the draft tonight, and giving players that I think would be reasonable selections or considerations for the first 3 rounds for the team. So the Chiefs, in my opinion, one of the best rosters in the league at the moment. Pretty stacked defensively, good at most levels. Offense is pretty solid, just pretty much looking to improve very specific spots. So the major need is the inside backer spot. With Derek Johnson's injury and age, definitely need to find a replacement for him. I think the wide receiver spot could be improved. Tyreek Hill is a decent weapon. Jeremy Maclin's a solid player. I think if they could get someone else who could be a heavy contributor, that would really benefit this offense. And the other need I've gone for is quarterback. Now, I like Smith a lot more than most people seem to. I think he's perfectly competent, but I do think they need to start looking to the future. And for someone who could potentially offer an upgrade maybe a year or two down the line. So with my first round mock, I don't believe this changed. I have the Chiefs selecting Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback from Texas A&M. I think this is quite clearly the most physically gifted of the quarterbacks in the draft. He's got a cannon for an arm. He can scramble for extra yardage. He's got the size you look for in an NFL quarterback. The tape is incredibly up and down. You can see all the talent there, but you can see this guy is not ready to take an NFL field anytime soon in his career. I think this would be a perfect landing spot for him personally, getting to learn from Andy Reid, who's one of the best in the business, and Alex Smith can hold down the fort for the next few seasons whilst he develops in the background. Other players I think that they could take, John Ross, I think if he's available would be a fantastic selection. The combination of him and Hill would be incredible in terms of offering speed threats, and then you'd have Kelsey and Macklin for the underneath stuff. I think that would make this passing game incredibly dangerous. Other quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, I think this would again be a great landing spot for him. Even Kaiser, if they do decide to go with the quarterback of the future route. If Corey Davis is available, I think that would be a fantastic selection. Again, beef up that receiving group. I think one of the top runners, if they're available, whether that's Alvin Kamara or Dalvin Cook, I think they'd both be a great selection at this point. I can't see any chance McCaffrey or Fournette are on the board at this point, but I think they'd be very good selections. I'm not sure there's a middle backer perhaps worth taking. Maybe Zach Cunningham, if he's available. I think he'd be a pretty good selection for them. I think he could fit well. I can't see Hassan Reddick being available, and I don't think he should be. I think he's a top 10 player in this draft personally. In the second, I think this might be where we start seeing them look at some defensive linemen. I do feel they could probably get better there. Malik McDowell might be available. Could see Tim Williams as another pass rusher. They do have having a lot of pass rushers there in KC. Wide receivers as well. Curtis Samuel, he may be an option. Joe Mixon, this could be a landing spot for him. You could see guys like Tyvis Bowser being taken here. Good again, linebacker. I think this is a good juncture to look at that spot. Get one of the second tier middle backers. Duke Riley might be a bit high for Raekwon McMillan, but I think he could potentially be looked at here. Similar in the third, Eric Wilson, Anthony Walker. I think they're guys that they could certainly look at. Again, some of the running backs like Brian Hill, Marlon Mack, as John Connor, plenty of options. Donta Foreman for this team. I think, generally with the way the Chiefs operate, you want someone who can catch. Ideally for that system, they could even look for backup offensive linemen. A guy like Antonio Garcia. Pocic would be a good selection. Just as I said before, versatility always valued in an offensive lineman. He'd give them some solid depth. A guy like Cooper Kupp, I think someone ready to come in and play in the third round would also make a lot of sense as a selection. I think safeties are also a possibility. Whilst they've got Eric Berry, if they could get a top end safety at any point, at the end of the first, a guy like Buddha Baker, possibly Melifonwu. I think Melifonwu would be a great selection. Him and Berry would be a fantastic pair. You've got some of the guys that might be there in the seconds, like Marcus May. I think they could potentially have a really scary group there. Other defence linemen, I think Jaleel Johnson might make a degree of sense. They've only got a 1 year deal in place at the nose tackle spot at the moment, so he could potentially be their nose tackle of the future. So let me know, Chiefs fans, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment of some of this team's needs? Are there any particular players you've got your eye on in the first 2 days of the draft you'd like to see the Chiefs consider? Let me know, whether it's in the comments section below. Find us on Facebook at Cover Zero, or find me on Twitter at Simon Conboy. I'll do my absolute best to get back in touch with everyone who does make contact. And as always, if you've enjoyed the show, I recommend checking out more. The rest of the NFL should be up at this point. I did my mock draft yesterday for the first round, hoping to have time to get a second and third round mock up before the end of the day. May even end up doing them tomorrow before those rounds start. I think that would be reasonable. And as always, if you've enjoyed it, like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon, all that good stuff. It would be thoroughly appreciated. Might be doing a live stream later. Really hoping to do so. If so, I'm going to post up how you can access that in the comments section below. So thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Pleasure as always. Have a great day and go Bucks.